a supermarket in Europe or the Middle East and pick a pack of fresh green beans, chances are they came from Kenya. But how many of us really understand what it takes to grow French beans to international standards? Why do some farmers succeed while others struggle to stay in the game? Today, we step into the field to uncover the realities of French beans farming, from best practices and quality requirements to the opportunities that make this crop a key export earner for Kenya. Farm Diaries is proudly brought to you by Yara East Africa, supporting farmers with innovative crop nutrition solutions for better yields, quality, and sustainability.
When we talk of beauty with brains, they are no longer in the streets. Siku hizi zinapatikana shambani. And as you can see, hereby I'm joined by a beautiful lady. Na nikikwambia she's the owner of this land, utaanza kuniambia, Nyakazi, you're lying, but Eva. Let's do introductions so that our viewers wasenze kusema, I'm lying. Who is Eva?
First of all, you took me out on that. I was expecting any other intro but that. But okay, yes. Yes, my name is Eva Gashoki.
Yeah.
I am the CEO and founder of this farm. We go by the name Asim Farms Limited, situated at Gateguru. This is Kiambu County, on Thika Garissa Road.
Okay.
Yes.
Gateguru.
Yes.
No, the first time nilisikia I'm coming to Gateguru, something came in my mind. I don't know whether you know this. There's a musician alikuwa anaitwa Wanganango. Unamjua?
Yes.
He sang about Gateguru.
Oi 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 oi. We don't moshada moshewarewa Gateguru.
So I'm like, okay, ama huku kulikuwa kwao?
Labda.
I don't know.
Labda. Can dig deep. Labda.
The research on that.
Yes.
But no, today we are not talking about Wanganango. Leo tuko Gateguru to talk about this crop ambayo imefanya Kenya tukakuwa on the global map, French beans. And now the person behind this, si mwingine, here she is.
It is I.
So Eva, to start with, how did you begin? Not even with the French beans, farming.
Farming.
You farming, unajua sasa hiyo tumekuwa tukigrow tukisema farming ni wazee, you know. But no, tunaona representation of those in agriculture. It may change, the phase has changed. And that's why we have Eva here. So how did you begin? And for how many years have you been doing this?
Oh, okay. So I began 6 years ago. Yeah, that's when I got into farming. And mine is not, you see, people have, there are many different stories of why people begin things. Mine is just, I just wanted an extra income. That was it.
Oh, okay.
I was employed and ikafika mahali, hiyo mshahara Nairobi, it makes sense. So I was like, what else can I do?
Okay.
So, and the next thing I was like, what do I know? Yeah, and I know farming because my parents are farmers.
Oh, wow.
I come from where? So my parents are farmers, so I know about farming. Or rather, I used to know just nitty-gritties here and there about farming. So I decided, what do I know? Where can I get support if I need it? Farming.
Yeah.
That's how I began the journey.
Okay.
I actually began from this side. There's a place just down the road called Ngoliba. Yeah, that was the place I first secured the initial 5 acres. And French beans was my first crop.
Oh, so you began with French beans?
Yes, I began with French beans. Yes, I began with French beans because, again, my parents were in French beans. So the crop, again, I knew about was French beans. And because my parents were farming it, I had the advantage of market. Yeah, so I actually, I jokingly say, I inherited market from my parents. Yeah, because it's actually the guys they were farming from, they're farming for, that's actually the same people that I took up, and we are still in business with them today.
Okay. Yeah. Now you mentioned you began with 5 acres.
Yes.
So how many acres?
Currently 100.
100?
Yes, we're at 100 now.
And in the 100 acres,
yes,
is it all covered with French beans, and we have other crops?
We have French beans as our primary crop, and then we do crop rotation with tomatoes and maize. And then we recently introduced cereals, so we've got rice, and we're also working on beans and soya beans here and there. In future, we are also going to do herbs.
Okay.
Yes, that's sometime later in the year. But currently our primary crop is French beans, crop rotation with tomatoes and maize, and then we've got now rice and soya bean. And we also want to toy around with sunflower, yes, but we are still in the learning process of it.
Okay.
Yes, objective is to be able to produce raw materials for animal feeds.
Oh,
yes,
amazing.
that's the agenda.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you want to be in crops at the same time with the animal side.
Yes, but not manufacture the animal feed itself, produce the raw material that's required for animal feeds.
Oh,
yes,
I
because
get it now.
my job is to produce. That's what I do. I produce. Yes, so mine will strictly up to production for now. If the niche grows to get to beyond and we need to scale beyond production, we'll look into it then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we've seen farmers who are doing so good when it comes to French beans farming. Eh?
Yeah.
But others are trying, but they're not succeeding. And we're like, okay, then we have Eva here. He's successful in this. Tell us, what does it take to begin as a French beans farmer? How do you begin it from the start?
Yes, now that I've done 6 years of this, it all comes down to it comes down to actually two things for the production part: science and water. That's it.
Okay.
Water irrigation, that is key. That is key. Yeah. And then number two, science. Science is now the nutrition, the crop protection, all that now for purposes of the crop, of our production, of the quality, quantity assurance, all that.
Yeah.
So it's science and water.
Yeah.
Yeah, in two simple words.
Okay.
Yes, and then now of course there's now the market, because without market, it doesn't matter what you do with science or water. If there's no market, your crop doesn't go anywhere. Yes.
Okay, and I've heard you complaining about, some plants have been affected by rust. I don't know.
Yeah, hata unaona hapa. We've, funny enough, the block that we closed 2 weeks ago, our biggest challenge with that block was thrip. We anticipated the same here because when it's sunny, when it's too hot, thrip infestation goes quite higher.
Okay.
Funny enough, we've been dealing with rust. Rust is it's a cold. It's a disease that comes from cold temperatures. Yes, so it's very hot, and then we're dealing with rust. So this is what has, for lack of a better word, literally sat on us, imetukalia, this one. But we have fought and fought. As you can see, the bean itself has not been affected by the rust. Yes, but the leaves have really been affected. Yeah. So it means we were able to do some bit of damage control. So now our biggest lesson from this is how do we ensure that we prevent before it gets to this stage, so we don't have to do a lot of crop damage control. Yeah.
I know you've talked about science.
Yes.
You know, ni kama unauza uoga. It's like you're telling our viewers, if you are not good in science, maybe you won't succeed in this. But now I know there is people out there, the agronomists who are there to help you when you're beginning and all that.
Yeah.
But now you talked about the nutrition and all that. So we'd like you to tell us exactly, because I know there's someone there watching and listening. I want to know which products is Eva using.
Yes.
Because I've tried, but I failed somewhere. Maybe if I go the Eva's way, I might make it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our nutrition, we use 100% Yara products.
Oh.
Yeah, from start to end, our entire nutrition. So the key stages for our French beans is what? At the start, we take care of phosphorus.
Yeah.
Phosphorus, that targets the root development. Yeah. The initial stages, and then vegetative, we target nitrogen. You know, nitrogen has to be sufficient because that's when the crop is taking in a lot of nitrogen, vegetative space. And then when we get to flowering, we now target potassium. Yeah, potassium, boron, calcium. And Yara products have balanced what you need the entire phase. For instance, at starter, we work with what is it called? Power Plus. Yeah, we do Power Plus. Power Plus is rich in phosphorus. Yeah. It also has some micronutrients in it. You know, it has magnesium. There's some bit of nitrogen as well. But the phosphorus rate is rich. I think it's probably 24% if I'm not wrong. So that's high for potassium. Sorry, phosphorus. Yeah. And then vegetative, we deal with micro top dressing. Again, it's a Yara product. Yeah. It's quite rich in nitrogen. And at the end of it, we have rich in potassium. So we play with Winner and Nitrabo. Nitrabo brings in boron, calcium, which is very important at the flowering end of it. Coupled with that, you also have Yara foliars. You know, we have Crop Boost and we have Power Boost. Yeah. So each comes at different stages. But before all that, it's important that I mention that for us to even know what we are going to apply into the crop, we've done our soil test.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've done our soil test because now the soil test analysis will also have recommendations what we need to put in the soil. We can just blindly decide we are going to do nitrogen when the soil is already rich in nitrogen. It's a waste. Yeah, so again, we are guided by the soil results that we do.
Yeah. Eva, yes, we've talked about zile issues in affect French beans. And there's one important thing yenye of course mkulima atajiuliza. Na kama mkulima wa nyanya amelia jua ilimfanyia ile kitu.
Been there, done that.
You know.
Yes.
And now the question is, when it comes to French beans,
Yes.
is it affected by the weather? Ama how do you survive? Ikiwa kama sahi mvua hata tujui tuliona mara ya mwisho lini. So what happens?
Okay.
Does it mean mimi nikiwa kwenye place ya kiangazi can I do French beans? Ama weather yake ideal ni gani? But usinijibu sahi.
Okay.
I know our viewers are waiting for this. So we're going to answer them after this short break. And just to remind you that today's episode of Farm Diaries is brought to you by Yara East Africa.
Farm Diaries, unlocking the future of agriculture.
We usually say mchanga ni chakula cha mmea, na ndio maana Mazao Group of Companies na CropNut have developed a partnership so that tuje kwako wewe kama mkulima tukusaidie kurekebisha mchanga wako. Tutaurekebishaje? We do the soil sampling kama Mazao Group, tunakutumanishia kwa CropNut, wanakufanyia analysis. Kama mkulima unatumiwa results na Mazao Group inatumiwa results. Na kama mnavyotujua, we have very active agronomist kwa ground. Watakuja kwako na zile results, wakusaidie kufanya interpretation, wakuapie ni nini muhimu unafaa kuongeza kwa mchanga wako ndio tuzalishe mazao mengi. Cha muhimu kwa mkulima ni mazao mengi, tuongeze mapato mfukoni. Karibuni Mazao na Afya in partnership with CropNut. We do for you the soil sampling, soil analysis, and send you the results as required. Remember, CropNut is the only ISO certified company for carrying out soil test. Karibuni.
Farm Diaries, unlocking the future of agriculture.
Now you go back to where we were. That is the weather.
Yes.
Do you have a suitable weather for French beans farming? It can survive in any weather.
I think from our experience, the challenge maybe would be very cold, extreme weather. Yeah, I don't know about that, but I know we produce French beans January to January. Yeah, so in the rainy seasons, in the dry seasons, we produce them. So by virtue of that, I think it's a bit most weather. If it's very hot, the only thing you need to do is you need now to up your irrigation. If there's irrigation. When it's cold, of course, the rate water is provided. When it's raining, the water is provided. So what that now means at that time is not to ensure that the cold weather, you protect and prevent your crop against what cold weather would bring. Yeah, like rust, such. Yeah, but growing, yes, it grows. Soils as well. Yeah, this is loam. We've seen on the other section what we had was red soil. The red soil. Yeah, we had red soil. This is loam. Yeah, it's very good. Yes, sand. We actually have sections that are more sandy as well. And it's yes. Yeah. But of course, to tie that, you need to do your soil test. So you're sure that your kind of soil can accommodate French bean at that particular time. And if it can be corrected to accommodate French bean.
Oh, yeah. And what's the source of water?
River Chania. Yeah, so we have, we're lucky enough to have a permanent river right down the road, so River Chania. So what we do is we also suck in drums on our highest points of the farm. So we pump from the river into the drums, and then we feed our block now water from the drums through gravity.
What pump are you using?
Electrical pumps, and then I have diesel pumps for backup. Okay. Yes, but the pumps we use on a daily basis is electrical pumps, which we are moving from, we are being transitioned into
now
solarization by Mazao team.
I was waiting for that part.
Yes. Mazao team is transitioning us into now solarization. Their engineer was actually at our farm this week, earlier this week, and they were able to do their feasibility study, and now they're working on a report, and then we can get into implementation.
So you're not going the clean energy way?
Yes.
So you're going. So to your viewers, actually, we are preaching this. This is the gospel we are preaching, that we should adopt the clean energy way. And you can see, Eva is already doing that.
Yep.
She's going the solar way.
Yes.
Like throughout. Yeah, it's very sunny.
Yes.
So you're always complaining about the sun. But how can we make use of the sun?
Yes.
And that's what you're doing.
Exactly.
So thank you very much, Eva, for that. Now, farming French beans without aggregators, will you succeed?
To begin, you're gonna need aggregators at the commencement, because you need to get into the market. I usually say, for a farmer who is getting into French bean farming, and you must go through brokers if you don't have market already to get into the market. So the broker, just put it at the back of your mind that you're going to use a broker, accept what terms the rainforest initiative to get into the market. And then now, as you go along the journey, as you master the crop, as you keep producing, you build a reputation around French bean production, you're now able to attract direct Kenyan off-takers. And then as you grow, there's of course always the element of scaling now to get your own export market.
Yeah. So in short, as a beginner, you can't do it alone.
You need aggregators, you need partners. It's not everyone who lands. I was lucky to have market with the one crop. Not everyone is able to get that. But if it's a crop you want to do, work with a broker to get into the market and talk to us, the rest of the farmers. Maybe we can have pointers here and there.
I know there's some viewers out there who have a question that I've always asked myself.
Yes.
We call them French beans. But every time I'm seeing them being sold, me huona easy.
Yes.
And I don't see the bean in it. These things hata zinapikwa zikiwa hivyo.
You can eat it like this.
But now the French bean. Where is the bean?
The bean is usually inside. So when this overgrows, so the reason why we need to get it early, after its 45 days cycle of growth, and so the export should, this cabin should not have grown. So when it's now overgrown, the bean grows. The people will actually consume the bean itself. So after the 45 days cycle of now the green bean, you can let it dry and now harvest it as now it's usually white in color. It's usually white in color.
Actually, I've always had that question. I've always called it a French bean. But whatever we are consuming, I don't see the bean. Some where is the bean?
So this it already has the small seeds.
I can see the small ones. Okay. Now, what do I say? Every process, every activity has its own challenges, and I'm sure you, as a French bean farmer, you encounter the challenges in this business. So, what are these challenges that you face as a French bean farmer?
Seasonal diseases. Seasonal diseases. Those ones are usually the major one, because you find, like now, there's drip issues. So that's when it's not as hot, drip is not as much. So seasonal diseases. We have before had issues with irrigation, but I think now we've sorted that out. Irrigation. This crop calls for a lot of water. So what are the challenges? It's mainly just with seasonal diseases. Pests, we learn about the insects and pests that the French bean is prone to. So we do a lot of prevention and a lot of scouting, so then we don't have to do lots of damage.
As I look at the surrounding, your neighbors, I'm not sure there's someone else with French bean. Ama ni mimi sioni. So what did your neighbors say? Ama walichukulia at this moment they say come here and begin farming French beans? Did you take like a rejection? Ama unajua kuna ile ya Yeye anajaribu nini? Acha anajaribu hata fanikiwa hapa. You get those, it happens.
Hizo ziko sangi. That started long ago, even when I was over the other side. 6 years ago? That hiyo iko sangi, but I don't listen to noise. So it doesn't affect me in any way.
Actually, ungesikiza the noise you wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I don't listen to noise.
Yeah. Yes. And I would like us to encourage the youth out there, because we see my youth kuna wenye wanajituma, and I'm sure there is someone who will be watching this motivated na sasa walitakuwa ever. Can I come to your farm and teach me how to do this? I'd like to be where you are. Do you welcome like kutoka land? What you do?
I do that. I actually do that. Okay, I have a lot of people that I'm on the journey with. I only have one condition. If you can't commit to come to the farm once every 2 weeks, I will not walk the journey. But yes, I actually do that. I do walk the journey with people who are interested, not just in fresh farming, but in agribusiness itself. Because in the 6 years, other than production of fresh beans, I have learned about agribusiness, business, also the intricacies and my lessons about
we are coming to the end of this episode on fresh beans farming. But before we finish, of course, I would like you to advise the farmers out there on how best to be successful when it comes to fresh beans farming, so that they can also be global farmers who are still in Kenya.
Yes. Science.
As you said, okay.
Science. That you can't play with. Science begins from soil testing, learning nutrition, crop protection, scouting, science. Information is available online everywhere. Just Google crop, French beans crop production. Have the theory and faith. If you can, talk to an agronomist here and there. Science cannot work around science. Water. If you don't have water, don't do it. Yeah, don't do it. I usually say if I would go back and start my journey again, I would get irrigation right from the very beginning, because that has been one of my biggest challenge in my growth, in my expansion. Irrigation. I didn't put up proper infrastructure. I didn't set up properly as far as irrigation goes. I'm now correcting that, which is more expensive than if I would have already set it up the right from the very beginning. So water, you can't do that. If you don't have water, don't do it. Truly. The other one is scale. Yeah, if you start with 2 acres, start making plans of going into 5 acres, 10 acres. Scale. Off-takers are going to be more. You'll attract more off-takers if you can produce quantity. Yeah, quality, of course, you cannot compromise on quality. So that's why the science and the water comes in. So there you will have achieved quality. Now scale into quantity. Yeah, because if an off-taker wants probably 10 tons in a week, if you can supply that in a week, they have more interest in keeping you as their farmers. Yeah? The other thing is continuity. Yeah? Continuity, by continuity, I mean a critical element of running an agribusiness is being able to continually produce. We produce January to January. What that has done is we have branded ourselves as very reliable. Yeah, there's no particular time our off-takers will not have produce. Yeah, every time we are planting and harvesting. So January to January, our off-taker is assured I'm going to get produce from this farmer. Yeah, so that continuity. And grow a thick skin. Yes, grow a thick skin. It will test you. Yeah, it will test you. Yes, when you get to the point of being tested, it's not the time to give up. Yeah, grow a thick skin.
Thank you very much, Emma. And so to our viewers, we come to the end of our episode today of Farm Diaries, that is French beans farming. And as I said, today we are in Kiambu County, right? Yes. Actually, I thought I was in Murang'a County, these boundaries. Unafaa kama boundaries kila mahali.
Hii mto ndio boundary.
Mtu anajua kivuka. Hii mto. So the other side ni Murang'a. So this other side is Kiambu. Okay, fine. I thought I'm in Murang'a County. I'm in Kiambu County. So we've come to the end of our episode of Farm Diaries. I've been your host, Nyakazi. And I like it here. The weather, the breeze. I'm not sure whether I'm going back home because
we have extra desks. It's fine, you can operate from here.
Thank you. Let's go do some harvest and then tunaweza pika for lunch.
No, iko ready. Unaenda tu kukula.
Oh, it's ready.
Yeah.
Hey, so till next time, guys.
Farm Diaries, brought to you by Yara, East Africa.